Thank you very much. So there's a lot to say on this, but what I'm going to try to do is take four core takeaways from the proceedings. For the record, these proceedings began in 2020 when the Pakistan Federal Union of Journalists challenged the first notified draft of the social media rules, and these proceedings are still ongoing till date. So the first issue that was evident from the beginning of the proceedings was that while these proceedings were ongoing, modified rules were notified by the government without any consultation whatsoever. So in other words, both the original and the modified social media rules were prepared and notified without any consultation, let alone meaningful consultation. There was no national discourse on definitions of harm or what harmful content is, particularly that content which the government was seeking to regulate. So the process of preparing and notifying these rules was non-transparent, arbitrary, and contrary to democratic norms. The second issue was that these rules exceeded the scope of the Parent Act, PICA. So being notified under Section 37 of PICA, which deals with unlawful online content, the rules could not have exceeded the ambit of Section 37 PICA, but they did. So for example, there was Rule 5.4 in the original rules, which authorized PTA to direct social media companies, significant social media companies, or users to secure data for evidentiary purposes, including traffic data, for an arbitrary period of time which was to be determined by PTA. So this sub-rule, for example, was also clearly beyond the scope of PICA, the Parent Act, as it imposed these obligations on entities such as social media companies and users which are neither categorized under PICA nor are there subjects under PICA. So under, for example, then Rule 5.4 of the social media rules, it contradicted the express provisions of Section 38 of PICA, which provides for limitation of liability of service providers. Another issue that we saw was that the rules, original and the modified rules, they appeared to be ultra vires the Constitution. So for example, what was previously Rule 4.5 of the social media rules, it authorized PTA to keep the identity of the complainant confidential. And interestingly, when you read this with Rule 4.1 subsection 2, that authorized the government and intelligence agencies to file complaints. This is clearly in violation of Article 19A of the Constitution, which safeguards the right to information. This shrouded these government actions in secrecy. The fourth and final issue, which perhaps at this stage goes without saying, is PICA itself. And it was bulldozed by the PMLN government through Parliament despite massive opposition from civil society groups. Unfortunately, under the PTI government, during pendency of these proceedings, as well as a challenge to Section 20 of PICA, criminal defamation, the President of Pakistan promulgated the PICA Amendment Ordinance, which was meant to make an already draconian law even more regressive. And here we find ourselves today as well, where the present government, despite suffering for the last 3+ years under PICA and these social media rules, it has expressed no intent to repeal PICA in its entirety. So I'll end over here. Thank you.